Thank you. But more importantly, October Red, I am here with Dev Sahni, the mouthpiece, the ring announcer, the promoter, the tweeter, Mr. Queensberry himself almost. Dev Sahni, welcome.
Wow. What an intro. What an intro. Thank you. Thank you, October Red. Look, I've been admiring your work as well. I watch more and more of your interviews and I'm enjoying them. I like the one with Eddie Hearn the other day. I thought it was just a cool conversation and it was very insightful. I was saying to you earlier, it's insightful to hear someone like that pay so much attention to like tweets, like people replying saying this is a rubbish fight sort of thing and it's getting in his head sort of thing. That was crazy to me, but you got that out of him, so good chat.
I think sometimes in boxing, I think it can seem quite rigid and people forget that we're actually just human beings. You run a business, you've got certain attributes, you may be known as ruthless, but when you go home at night, when you're alone and you open Twitter, probably one of the most toxic places on earth, it's just good to show a human side of everybody.
100%. Well, as soon as you open Twitter, you open social media, you let a number of people suddenly into your living room. You could be there just watching EastEnders. You know, I'm taking a bit of a break from EastEnders at the moment, but watching EastEnders or whatever, and suddenly you check your phone, and suddenly all these people are now in there with you, and maybe you're having a chat with your wife or something. It was all going well, and then someone's called you this and that, and then you ruins your evening. It can happen. Not to me anymore so much, but you know, it's you've got to have a thick skin, I think, in this game.
We talk about thick skin, but we talk about putting on multiple hats. Like I said, your introduction, your CV, your curriculum vitae, as we used to say back in the 90s, must be looking phenomenal. How did it start off with you wearing all of these hats and being able to juggle all of this? Because it is interesting to watch, like, the growth of yourself.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you saying that. Look, honestly, it's just like self-belief. I watch other people doing their job, like in boxing, and I just know I can do it. I just know, and I just back myself. And my whole journey started online marketing. I was working for like European rail company, nothing to do with boxing. I was just a boxing fan, and I was bored, so bored. And I sent my CV to Box Nation back in the day, just speculatively. There wasn't even a job, but it was a good CV. It was like a picture of me in the middle pointing at all of my attributes and all of this, little hire now button rather than watch now. And it was good. They got back to me. I got a job as a digital manager. And yeah, I've just said yes to pretty much every opportunity. And I'll just back myself. It's just that. I think you just got to have a bit of bollocks, basically.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, because that is something that I'll definitely attribute to yourself, because you've gone up on Twitter, you've sold the unsellable, you've argued with, the audiences of boxing that have literally been screaming and saying, no, we don't agree with this, but you're someone that's not afraid of standing your ground for something that you believe in.
I never have been. I've always been a bit of a weirdo, to be honest. So I'm not afraid to just like, if 10 people are telling me one thing and I think another thing, I'll say that other thing. If there's a meeting and we're in a boardroom and all that, anyone want to speak up at the end, I'll speak up if I don't agree. I'm always kind of that guy. I just back whatever I think, I back it. I might be wrong sometimes. I'm definitely not wrong about Francis Ngannou's chances against Tyson Fury, though. I mean, he's in the Guinness Book of World Records. What if he lands? What if he lands? What happens? What do you think?
I'm a boxing fan, and this is probably where our opinions might differ.
Sure.
I'm trying to get my head round, it's not an exhibition fight, but is it subject to Queensberry rules? Will there be testing? All of these little intricacies that we get in boxing, so I'm torn. I like Tyson Fury in the ring. I love watching him box. Outside the ring, I'm going to have to sit it out because it's just confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me being honest.
Sure, look, and why wouldn't you be? I mean, look, it's not an exhibition. There's crazy misinformation out there. I think some people want it to be an exhibition so they can throw yet more rocks at the fight.
Okay.
It's definitely a fight in like Queensberry rules. I don't know the number of rounds. I guess the gloves are proper heavyweight gloves. That's the information that's gone out there. But for sure, it's not an exhibition. They will be trying to knock each other out. And, it's that theatre of the unexpected. You never know in boxing. This guy has been punched. I know it's a different technique, right? Francis Ngannou has been punching people in the head his whole life. via maybe a different technique. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But what if he just changes his technique? What if he really practices? What if he lands a punch from the gods and becomes the lineal boxing heavyweight champion? It is crazy. But I'm watching it, and I'll be out there, and I'm sure a lot of people will watch it. I think you just gotta embrace it. It's just a bit of fun. Tyson Fury will go back to his, WBC kind of reign afterwards. But this is a big opportunity for him to make a lot of money. Big opportunity for Francis Ngannou as well to make a lot of money. It's a crossover fight, and it will have some good appeal. And you never know.
So you say it's a crossover fight. So it's a crossover fight more for Francis Ngannou, as he is the one that is putting on the heavyweight gloves. From a fan...
By the way, sorry to interject. That was his initial dream, Francis Ngannou. He didn't dream of becoming the UFC heavyweight champion or MMA. It was boxing that he wanted to do. When he was climbing up mountains and swimming rivers and all of that amazing journey he's had, it was boxing that was on his mind. He then got introduced into MMA. So, maybe he's going back to his dream a little bit here. Maybe he can realise it.
Coming from the fans' point of view, because obviously I'm a boxing fan, and like I said, I'm a little bit torn on this, if I'm completely honest. When we talk about Tyson Fury with the WBC belt, the prestigious, probably the green and gold, it's the prestigious heavyweight boxing belt, a proud belt for any fighter to have. The time that he's taking, we talk about defences, we're talking about him going out and defending it. I know, Frank, your gaffer has said, there's nobody out there for him to fight. The fights that he's tried to arrange haven't happened. I don't know what. I get it. You're a company guy. You're going to back your guy. But can you see it from our point of view? It's why are the WBC allowing him to keep that belt? Why can he do what he more or less he's sort of swanning around doing what he wants? This is just from a boxing fan's point of view.
I hear what you're saying. I think
what he does, so I'll never say
it.
Do you understand? So
Look, the whole thing is, I think the WBC appreciate that he did try and fight Alexander Usyk. I know fans have kind of bought into this narrative that for some reason he didn't want to fight him, but he did. Ultimately, it was Usyk that pulled out of that negotiation. That can't be dressed up any other way. Usyk's team have said that is the case. So he tried to fight Usyk. He's offered Anthony Joshua 2 shots at the WBC heavyweight title, both coming off, the back-to-back defeats against Usyk. Offered him the shot in December. Okay, it didn't happen. Fine. Recently offered him a shot now. He's fighting Dillian Whyte instead. Okay, fine. So he's tried Usyk. He's tried Joshua. They've gone to the WBC saying, what do you want to do about this? They've ordered a final eliminator between Wilder and Ruiz. That fight so far hasn't come to fruition. So then Tyson's got big opportunities out there. He hasn't got a mandatory. Ngannou's there waiting. Big bag of money. Interesting fight. Crossover fight. Go and do it.
Fair enough. I mean, we could go to and fro on this, but like I said, I'll always come from a fan's point of view. The Anthony Joshua one, fair enough. Originally, the arbitration with Wilder, I get it. That one fell through.
I think that was no one's fault.
Yeah.
That one.
So that one's kind of inevitable. But then when they were supposed to fight and the crazy deadlines were given, etc., that one fell through.
The thing on that, I know the deadlines, but that's obviously from the Joshua perspective, it's we started setting deadlines. At the same time, Eddie Hearn himself tweeted, "We're ignoring all of that," right? I think he said something like, "For once, I agree with Frank." Tweeted something like that, right? So there was an agreement to not really listen to what Tyson was doing across his social media. That happened. You can kind of check back the receipts, but look, it's all boring now at this point anyway. The fights haven't happened, and he's fighting Francis Ngannou next. I would imagine he's going to beat Francis Ngannou. I would back him to win. He'll be a favourite, and then you can revisit Usyk next year, and then we can get on with it.
And that is exactly what the fans want. We want to see the heavyweight champion of the world get into those boxing fights. No disrespect to Ngannou, but it's almost like this fight is now being sold that Ngannou's the hero. Look at all that he's been through, and now he's getting this opportunity. And the light's been dimmed on. But why isn't Tyson Fury having a boxing fight? That is just from my point of view, as a fan, would say that.
Look, it's all part of the story, and look, it's going to be a lot of fun to work on. It's going to be a lot of fun winding people up on Twitter like I'm already doing. But look, and I'll put this stat out there, right? People said Conor McGregor couldn't land a punch on Floyd Mayweather. They said he won't land a punch. He actually landed over 100. So we've got Francis Ngannou, who's got the hardest punch in the world, apparently. Would you let him land over 100 punches on you? I wouldn't. Would you?
Look at that. Proper salesman talk. Listen, you are now going into the promotional world. Add that to your CV. But let's talk about Usyk versus Dubois. One thing I will give Frank credit for is actively getting involved, almost getting involved in the banter of the press conference. I haven't seen that side of him because obviously I've never been to one before. How much is he prepared to put on the line to back Dubois for this?
I mean, he's put it all on the line. He has backed Daniel Dubois from his debut up until this point. After the loss to Joe Joyce, it was Frank Warren that stuck money behind him, backed him to go that WBA route, go out to Miami, lost the first bid to Don King, went out there, won the belt, come back over here. He's backed him every step of the way. And that WBA route that he's taken, that is Frank backing him. So here he is now at the top table, and this young man who turned over at 19 years old with us is about to potentially realise his dream. I think it's an amazing moment, and I think it's another nod to how well Frank can bring fighters back after a defeat. I look back at Amir Khan, right? Got chinned by Breedis' Prescott. Horrible moment for British boxing, really. Oh my God, what's happened? Within like 18 months, I think it was, he was fighting for a world title, and he won the world title. Amazing. He's fighting Barrera in his next fight as well, so Frank backs his fighters.
And that is something that we do like to see. The energy from Frank, people will say, oh, we should give it over to his sons now. He needs to pass the torch on. Your thoughts on that, Deb?
He's that torch ain't going nowhere. He will be going every single day until he doesn't want to do it anymore. Yeah, he's got too much energy, too much fire. Every time a young prospect walks into the office and he tells him about what he wants to do in the sport, Frank's eyes light up. I see it. And that it's going to take an awful lot to put that flame out.
The energy that you get from Usyk quite, quietly confident, doesn't say much. He gives you the death stare now and again. The type of fight that it will be, the two styles, because what I will say, and the reason why I'm asking this, is Daniel has even started to come out of his shell. Even to hear him talk up there, that's not the Daniel we all know. He's usually quite socially awkward, but we saw a different Daniel.
I've seen that. I've seen that this week. I saw it on Monday when we went out to Poland. I've seen it today. There's Frank encouraging people to set it up. But yeah, look, do you know what? He's 25 years old. When he turned pro at 19, how many times do you think he had a camera in front of him before asking him about his life and his career? Probably not much at all. He's used to it now. He's a man and he's ready to go. He sits there with his chest puffed out, his shoulders nice and broad, and he believes every word that he says. And I'm really looking forward to this. What type of fight do I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Daniel Dubois trying to knock out Alexander Usyk as quickly as possible. That's what I see happening.
We can't wait for it. When is the undercard going to be announced? Because obviously we've got Prince Nazim Jr. That was a lovely surprise, by the way. I like that. Oh, you didn't know either?
I wasn't expecting him to be up there. So.
I thought you would have set it up knowing you.
No, I wasn't. It was a little bit here and there as to whether or not that was happening. But no, good fun. I'm sure there'll be other announcements soon. I don't know.
No hints?
I don't know. You got your main event. That's enough, innit? You got Naz up there. I mean, you're laughing. Pay your money.
Like it. Listen, Dev, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll speak again soon.
I think we will. Nice speaking to you, and well done on your success and your channel. I love your hustle. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.